Hello, I'm Michael. I'm a certified parapsychologist with East Sussex Paranormal Society, and this is, I believe, number 5 in our instructional videos that we're doing on YouTube here. Don't forget to check out our website at www.esps.co.cc, and there's some nice articles, and of course, if you sign up for the news feed, you can get the news feed for free, but if you sign up, whatever, in any case, you can basically leave some of your wisdom on the internet in the form of forums and other things. Today what we're going to talk about is we're going to be discussing safety on investigations. One of the things we like to do is make sure that before you begin an investigation, you've done your research on the property, which is why we at ESPS do what we consider to be recon investigations, where we actually go in and check to see what the layout of the building is, what type of situations are there, if there are any safety issues or health issues. We like to address those beforehand. And also you want to speak to the owners of the property and make sure they are given their permission for you to be there. You know, one of the things that can happen without permission to be on someone's property is you can get a trespassing fine in most countries and most states in America, and of course in the UK and other places. You could also get yourself arrested. So the idea is you'd be doing your investigation from a jail cell, and although there's probably lots of spirits and activity inside of a jail cell, I don't think you would like to do your investigation from there. So, or pay the fines that come along with that. What we'd like to show you right now is one of the a very necessary piece of equipment that you may need to use. In the event that you're going to be, and you do have permission to be at a disused a plant or an old factory or something like that, you might want to consider the fact that the 3M and many other companies manufacture these particulate masks. These will handle liquid and or solid, non-volatile particles, and probably keep those out of your lungs and your mouth if it's worn correctly. Now, of course, there are methods of wearing that correctly. I won't go over all that with you today. There are instructions that come along with it when you purchase it that will show you how to properly wear this so that you're not inhaling any of those things. It also probably could prevent you from inhaling some of the funguses and various other things that might be floating around, as well as dust. Don't get it mistaken that this is not going to help you with asbestos. So if you're investigating an old building, many of them prior to the laws that stopped buildings from using asbestos as building material. If you don't know what asbestos is, it has been related to causing mesothelioma and various other cancers, respiratory cancer and other types of cancers in the body. This is not going to protect you from asbestos. So if you think a building has asbestos or you find that it does, I would highly suggest that you refrain from doing your investigation there, or you might be adding to the amount of ghosts and spirits that are in that building because you may become a fatality. So the idea is to make sure you're protecting yourself in every way possible. One of the other things we like to discuss here today is communication. If you're on an investigation and you're in an old building and perhaps the floors aren't totally safe or whatever, which we recommend you don't do investigations like that, but if you are on one, you want to make sure you have a way to communicate with the rest of your team, if you have a team, and that would be walkie-talkie. Let's say, for example, you fall through a hole in the floor or something else happens to you, get locked in a room somewhere. Huge house, they may never find you. You could be there for weeks, months without food and water, who knows. Why put yourself at risk? Make sure you have a method of communicating with your other team members or with outside somebody with you, that you can let them know where you're located in the event you need assistance. They'll be able to come directly to where you are if you have some kind of communication device on you. We also recommend with that you're not alone on an investigation that might be dangerous, and that you have you're going in teams, to whereas if something happens to one person, there is another person who can go retrieve help if necessary and or help you out of the situation, rather than put yourself at risk by being alone. The other good thing about that, plus side to it, is that if you do have another person with you and you happen to see something that you only have as a personal experience and you don't have it on film, you don't have it on audio, you have another human being next to you that can say they also witnessed what took place, and that will help give some credit and some give some evaluation, a standpoint from another person of what actually took place versus just your word alone by yourself, which wouldn't stand up and hold water in front of most skeptics. The next thing we want to talk about is lighting. We at East Sussex Paranormal Society don't believe it's totally necessary to do complete lights out investigations. We have mentioned that before in our videos and on our website. But in the event you are doing it completely lights out and there's no light anywhere in the building, one of the worst things you could be doing is running and screaming. We've seen lots of examples of people running and screaming through old buildings in total darkness, and there are several things that can happen to you. One of the above things that could happen to you is there may be projectiles or other things. There may be falling debris, falling from ceilings and other places. These things can cause eye injuries, if not loss of sight. You could also cause yourself some serious lacerations, concussions, head injuries, and of course the number one favorite, falling down a flight of stairs because you can't see where the stairs are located. One of the devices that we use with that is that we use red filtered light. Now this particular flashlight, or as you call it here in the UK, is you call it a torch. This is a mag light, mini mag light. Great company. They're very solid. They take a beating, usually waterproof, and easily adaptable to a red light filter, which we just put on the front right here. What happens with this is your eye has a chemical in it called visual purple, and there is also another technical name, but we'll get into that on the website only. What happens is when you're exposed to bright white light in an area where you've already been exposed to darkness, the chemical in your eye, which we will call visual purple, is washed away from the eye as you're exposed to bright white light. When you're exposed to red filtered light, you're not losing the ability that your eye had already developed to see in a low light situation, and you're able to see adequately where you're going and what's going on around you, which helps to prevent injuries and falling downstairs, falling off balconies, various other things that could happen to you. Also, on the plus side, you won't be seeing these weird moving things in the darkness around you that could be mistaken for apparitions because your eyes are actually adjusting to the fact that there is no longer any light around them. When you're exposed to white light in a dark environment, the eye instantly tries to recover itself, and while it's doing that, in the darkness you could see images and things creeping and moving around. Could cause some problems with your investigation. So we do recommend using a red filtered light if you're going to be in low light or a complete lights out situation. We don't have a lot of time today, so I'm going to go over this very quickly, but if you're using a night shot camera, don't count on your night shot camera providing you all the infrared light that you need, because it usually doesn't do as much as you'd like it to do. And these Sony HVL IRM lights, this is a set of two connected together in a cold shoe, which is called a cold shoe, and that will allow you to see further and a wider area of infrared light in a dark situation or a lights out situation. Once again, I'm Michael. I was very happy to be here with you today, and we look forward to talking to you on the next segment of our instructional videos. And don't forget, we're at www.esps.co.cc, and keep it safe, thorough, and open-minded. Thank you.